Today, we're celebrating the auspicious occasion of Sri Ram's birth. In other words, there's a personality known as Ram, and it is his birthday today. Why should we celebrate his birthday? Who is Ram? Let's first find out. Who will tell us? Let us ask God, who is the ultimate authority. But where will we find God? He is not in our presence. He's not in our midst. But his voice is in the form of the Vedas, the Vedic scriptures. Thus, the Vedas tell us and give us the description of Sri Ram. Ramante yogino nante satyanande chidatmai iti ramapadena sahu parabrahma bhidiyate. Ram Tapaniyopanishad says, Ram is neither human nor a demigod. He is Brahma. You see, there are three eternal entities. Gyagya udvavaja vishanisha yeka bhoktri bhogyartha yukta anantaschatma vishvarupo hyakarta triyam yada vindate brahma metat. Shvetashvatra Upanishad 1:9. There's God, the individual soul, and Maya. Maya is an inert, inanimate entity. The individual soul is a living, conscious entity, but he is not Ram either. There's only one entity left, and that is the third one. And that is Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, etc. He has countless names. And that is Brahma, or rather that is Sri Ram. The Vedas state further and give us the meaning of the word Ram. Ra means the world, and Ma means its creator, its sustainer or ruler, and its destroyer. In other words, one who creates the universe, one who sustains it, and one who is the cause of its dissolution or termination. Whosoever that is Ram. This is what the Vedas say. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad 3:1. That from which the world is created, that in which the world is sustained, and that into which the world merges or dissolves. Ultimately, know that to be Brahma or Bhagavan. And that is who Ram is. In the Ramayana, Hanumanji is saying, Hey Ram, you are the Supreme Personality. You are the Supreme Soul, not just the soul. All living beings are referred to as souls. The soul of all these souls is the one soul, the Supreme Soul. Rameva param brahma, Rameva param tapah. Ram Rahasya Upanishad also says, Ram is Brahma. This is what all the Vedas are saying. Even the Adhyatma Ramayana says, Tvam Vishnur Janaki Lakshmihi. Hey Ram, you are Vishnu, and Janaki ji or Sita ji is Mahalakshmi. As you may know already, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughan were 4 brothers. Ram, therefore, was Brahma, and Lakshman, Shatrughan and Bharat, who were they? You will say that they were saints. No. In fact, they were, Ram himself had become these 4. This is called Chaturvyu. Of course, God can assume unlimited forms, as many forms as He would like, if He only makes the slightest wish or the slightest desire to do so. But He assumed only 4, as Ram, Shatrughan, Bharat and Lakshman. So who is Ram again? Parat Par Brahma. He is the supreme power, the supreme personality. There is nothing beyond Him. He is greater than the greatest. All right, you may say, we accept the fact that Ram is Brahma, Bhagavan, Paramatma, Khuda, God, etc. But why should we celebrate His birthday? We celebrate birthdays of our mother, our father, or our son, because we have a relationship with them. What relationship do we have with God? We do not even celebrate our neighbor's birthday unless we know them or unless we have a friendly relationship with them. And we should celebrate God's birthday, whom we have never seen, whom we do not know, and whom we cannot even think of. Why? Naham na yuyam yadritam gatim vidur navam devah kimuta pare surah tanmayaya mohit buddhyastuidam vinirmitam chatma samam prachakshmahi. Bhagavad 2.636. Let alone Saraswati and Brihaspati, the gods, the celestial gods of knowledge, even Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar, the highest authorities on knowledge, are unable to know Him. No one can know Him. Then how can we humans know Him? And thus, what relationship do we have with God? This is the question. Now please listen carefully to the answer. He is our soul and we are His body. For example, you say that this body is yours. Then who are you? Oh, I am He whose body this is. All right? Let me explain further. We say that so-and-so by the name of Ramesh died this morning at 4 a.m. But hold on. He's still lying there. Perhaps he's sleeping. Why don't we wake him up? No. You see, he has passed away. He has left his body. He is gone. He is no more. In other words, he who has left the body is Ramesh. Then what about this body? What is this? Oh, this is just dust. You call it dust? This body is so important. History bears witness to the fact that innumerable murders, countless fights, and even wars have occurred due to this body, and you call it just dust? You see, as long as the soul remains in the body has immense significance. But as soon as the soul leaves, everything is reduced to nil, nothing, 0%. So you understand that this body's soul is the I in me, and this body is mine. Just as this body's soul is the I in me, and this body is mine, in the same way, the body's soul, in the same way that this soul, rather, let me rephrase that. In the same way, this soul is the Supreme Soul, that is Sri Ram or Sri Krishna. And their body is the I in me, the soul in me. Hence, the body of the Supreme Soul is the individual soul, which is me, myself. And the body of the individual soul is this human body. So you see, we have such a deep relationship with God. He is the soul of our soul. And this relationship is real. Whatever relationships we may have in the world are not the type that will last forever. A relationship means one that lasts forever and one that looks out for your well-being, for your self-interest. For example, we have a mother. Yes, we do. How long will she live? Oh, she's old now. She will die soon. Oh no, she's going to leave you behind? Yes. Everyone will leave you behind one day. Who will stay with you forever? Whether it is your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, or your son. Everyone will go on their separate ways. Sooner or later. No one stays with you forever. And besides, if we had just one father, then maybe. But we have had unlimited fathers in the course of our unlimited lives. Let me relate a story to you from the Bhagavad. Shukdev Paramhans, the topmost jnani, the topmost self-realized soul, was in his mother's womb when Vedavyas, his father, asked him. He said, "Who are you? Why don't you come out?" You see, Shukdev Paramhans remained in his mother's womb, Mother Pingla's stomach, for 12 years. Because he was afraid that if he were to come out, the illusionary power of God, Maya, will engulf him and make him forget about God. Thus, when Vedavyas asked his son, Shukdev Paramhans, he said, "You're asking me who am I? I have assumed unlimited, countless lives, bodies, in the course of my countless past lives. What must I tell you about my identity as to who I am?" You see, in every lifetime, we have had a different father, a different mother, a different husband, a different brother, a different wife, a different son, and so on. Even a different name. Kati naam sutana lalita kati vanaihi vadhura bhunjihi kwanute. Where have they all gone? No one remembers. Thus all these worldly relationships are temporary. This is the first point. The second point is they are selfish in nature, and that's an important point. All the relationships that we have in the world are based on the degree of our selfish motive behind them. For example, if we have something to gain from somebody and our selfish motive is fulfilled from that person or object, our love increases and a firm relationship is established with that person. If our selfish motive is reduced, our love also is reduced or decreases. If our selfish motive is finished, if it ends, then our love also ends, finishes. Our relationship comes to an end, and in fact, enmity begins thereafter. This has been experienced by all of us. This is the nature of our relationship with the world. And the relationship with God is the opposite. It is eternal, everlasting. Out of the 8.4 million species of life in existence, whichever form of life we may be born in, God always stays with us. He never leaves us. Dwa suparana sauja sakhaya. Mundukopanishad 1:1 says, there is you and there is your Father, God, both live in the heart. Ya atmani tishtati. The Vedas again state, the individual soul resides in Him, the Supreme Soul. Whether we take birth, or if we take birth as a donkey, in the donkey's soul, God's soul is also present. He will never leave us. Why? Because, first of all, who will give us the fruits of our unlimited actions? And secondly, if at any point in time an individual surrenders to God, God has to do so many things at the same time. He has to destroy our triguna, trikarma, tridosh, panchaklesh, panchadosh, and maya. In other words, He has to release us from the effects of all the actions performed by us, good and bad, in the course of our innumerable past lives. He has to free us from all bonds. And moreover, He has to give us that supreme, unlimited, infinite, inexpressible, divine love and bliss. This is why He never leaves us. He doesn't have any selfish motive. He doesn't want anything from us. This is the second point. Therefore, God has an eternal and unselfish relationship with us. This is why we are celebrating His birthday. Now, a question comes to mind, and that is, Sri Ram was the son of King Dasharatha. So is he the same Ram who is also Brahm? Yes, he is. But why does this Brahm Ram come into this world in the form of a human? Let us ask God. He tells us in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharat abhyuthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Gita 4:7. Lord Krishna says, I come into being whenever there is a decline in religion. I come into being for the establishment of righteousness and for the annihilation of the evil. In other words, He comes to this world to kill the demons and to protect the devotees or righteousness. God descends to this earth to kill the demons. That's all. Doesn't make sense. Why? Because God Himself says in the Valmiki Ramayana, Lord Ram says to his friend Sugriv, "Oh Sugriv, you are such a fool. You fool, you don't know who I am. You have no idea as to who I am. If I simply raise the tip of my fingernail, innumerable demons can be killed spontaneously. Let alone myself, even my younger brother Lakshman is capable of destroying all the demons in the world in just a second. Alright? Then why are you telling us in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita that you come into being for the destruction of the evil? It doesn't make sense. In fact, there are many reasons given in the scriptures as to why God incarnates himself in this world. But what is the real reason why for God's incarnation? Now listen to the real reason as told by Vedavyas. God descends to this earth to liberate, to bless, and to grace the living beings under the control of Maya who are suffering in this world. He comes not for the saints, because they're already, God realized, they are already blissful. He comes for the most fallen, the greatest sinners. It is for the benefit of the masses that God incarnates himself. Hence, God descends to this earth for the benefit of the ignorant living beings under the control of Maya. It is the most ignorant, it is the ignorant living beings who are under the control of Maya that benefit the most. Why? Because God, you see, when he descended on earth, he left behind his name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes, and his abode. Plus, he situated himself in his divine name and said, "O humans, you do not need to do anything or go anywhere. You may take my name, you may chant my name wherever you like, and in any condition. There are no restrictions." Plus, God filled his name with all his divine powers. And seated himself there in his name. So now, whether you meet God or you take his name, both are equal, both are the same. Both will give you the same benefit, provided your devotional feelings are there, according to your devotional feelings, of course. जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूर्ति देखी तिन तैसी. When Lord Ram was standing in the courtyard of the Dhanush Yagya, the sacrificial bow ceremony, in an attempt to break the bow and win Sitaji as a bride, everyone there saw him. But everyone saw him differently, according to their respective mentality and temperament, and according to the feelings in their heart. So this is why, this is the reason for God's descension, these beautiful pastimes. By taking support from his pastimes, his name, his form, his qualities, etc. In other words, whatever he did during his descension period, countless souls, living beings, have benefited and become God realized in the past, and countless will in the future. This is the real reason for Lord Ram's appearance, and this is why we're celebrating his birthday today. Thank you for listening. Boli Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai.